Coo for Who, a Doctor Who podcast, Series 8, Episode 7, Kill the Moon.
Yeah, kill the moon!
I do not want to do that. I'm your host, Molly Southgate, and with me is...
Martha Southgate.
And...
Moon Killer Rob Southgate.
Would you have pushed the button?
No.
The big red shiny button.
Ah.
See? So, okay, let's start this a little differently. This episode was different. I want to know, actually it is the way we started every time, but it's going to lead into a little bit different discussion. Molly, what did you think of this episode?
I like this one.
Okay.
It was a lot better than the last couple.
Okay, yeah, you didn't like the last one as much you said last time.
Yeah.
Now, you did, Martha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I did, but it didn't hit for you. But this one was a little bit better. Now, what was it that made this one better?
I liked how it was kind of back to regular Doctor Who.
Right.
Because before it was, what's going on? What are you doing? This, you got more info.
Well, yeah, the last one was the one where it showed her going back and forth in time. Wasn't it the last one?
Yeah, the caretaker.
Yeah, the caretaker.
Oh,
right.
that one. No, none of us really like that one.
Yeah, that was the one. Well, I liked it.
I liked it. I just didn't love it.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't feel like it had enough story.
It might have been the weakest
loads
one.
Of story.
It might have been the weakest one of the season. Although, you know what's funny? Online, I've been reading a lot of people saying that was a strong one, that they thought that was the strongest one of the season. I don't necessarily think so. But this one, I liked quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. I did too. I really did.
Now, the reason I liked this, and this is why I said it might be a little bit different discussion, this, once again, was very much back to classic Doctor Who. And for me, somebody who's read a lot of sci-fi and used to watch a lot of the earlier sci-fi shows, this really had a lot of those kind of elements for me.
Yeah.
So I thought this was really kind of classic stuff. And the things that antagonized
Sort of
people about it, yes, the things that antagonized people about it, the fact that there was kind of this theme about, pro-life.
Yeah.
And there was the whole, him saying, you have to make the decision. People are like, well, that was a cop-out. I completely disagree. Martha, you were saying during it that this was all about ethics.
Well, it reminded me of my ethics class in college where we were studying.
I don't know what ethics is.
Okay.
Deontological ethics. In this case, it was sacrifice one for the sake of many.
Right.
So if you kill this moon, this egg that's hatching, if you destroy that but you save everyone on Earth,
right?
Is it worth it to say? Is it okay to kill that in order to save everyone on Earth? But what the doctor was saying was, you don't know that this is going to save everyone on Earth. You don't know that this is going to hurt everyone on Earth.
So you have to
just
decide
speculating.
Which one is it? Do you want to risk killing everybody for the life of one, or kill one to save all when you don't know which one it is? Now, Molly, you're saying you don't know what ethics is. Ethics
now
is...
I know what ethics is.
Okay. Well, it's basically what we use to make our decisions. It's a tool that we have that tells us, what do I believe? And what is
right and what is wrong?
Yeah,
how do you determine right and wrong?
So some people might look at this episode and say, absolutely kill that thing in the moon because you're going to kill everybody on Earth potentially. But what the doctor said is, this is a unique species.
Yes.
And we don't know if it's going to kill everybody on Earth. And what ended up happening?
They didn't kill it.
Right.
And it didn't hurt anybody.
Right.
It just
How
flew
cool
away.
was that when it went away?
And it laid they're like, look, it laid another egg.
Yes.
Yeah, another moon.
I love
And so now every time I look at the moon, I think it's an egg.
Well, that's what's so funny. I love that it was an egg.
Yeah.
And last night when we were going to bed, I looked out the window after we watched the episode, and there was the moon, and I was like, oh my gosh, I will forever think of it as an egg now.
Right.
I also, and this is another, I think this is why I'm saying that there's this like sci-fi, this deep, older sci-fi thing in it. When the spiders were coming out, in a lot of more modern science fiction, that would have been the story. The moon is full of spiders.
Right.
And that's the story.
And how do we kill them?
But that wasn't the story at all. The
No.
spiders were inconsequential.
The spiders were germs.
They
too,
were a threat,
which was
but they
so
were germs.
interesting.
They killed them with like Germex or
With
something.
Windex.
Yeah, right, with Windex. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Germex is a thing though, but
Germex is like a Purell. It's
Yes.
a brand of...
I bet they could have killed it with that too, don't you think?
yeah.
They could have sprayed it on them.
I wonder
This-
if my vinegar would have worked.
Oh.
My vinegar. That's what I clean with.
I'm sure they
That's
have
why
vinegar
Molly
on the
didn't know what
TARDIS.
Windex is.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right.
But
that was really cool that like when you really boil it down, the spiders weren't bad guys, were they?
Yeah. No,
What were they?
they were germs.
But what was their function? What would a germ be doing? It would be all it was there to do was to attack the other things that are there.
Yeah.
To wipe out any bacteria or whatever, which is what the people were. So they weren't like, oh, we're malicious and we're aliens that are going to attack. No, they were just doing what a germ would do. And the thing that was in there, I mean, how cool
The
was that thing?
pterodactyl thing.
Yeah, it had like wings and it was bizarre. And how about that when the doctor jumped into the hole? He's like, I found amniotic fluid.
yeah, that was disturbing.
That was wild. And that was something else I was reading on Twitter. People were complaining. They're like, well, the doctor just left her. This doctor's a real jerk. Did you think he was a jerk for that?
No.
I thought that was very much the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
He is trying to figure this out, and he's trying to solve what he has to. I thought that was true to his character. Now, are you liking this doctor?
Yes.
Okay. What are your thoughts on it? Do you like him as much as Matt Smith?
No.
Molly will never love anyone.
Well, okay. Do you...
But he's right up there with him.
So he is. So he is deserving of being a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
What about Clara?
I like her.
What do you think's going on with Clara? Do you think she's going to hang around? Do you think she's mad enough
She's
that she's
pretty
done?
mad.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think she's going to leave him?
I think she might.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember where I heard this, but I think somebody said that somebody that's been on the show for a while is going to leave. And I think that's
She's
and
the
they
only
said
one.
that it might be Clara.
Yeah,
Oh,
well...
someone spoilered you?
You know
Yeah.
what? That's
I think
actually...
it was my one friend Gretchen.
Uh-oh, you're
that's
on Gretchen.
that's been a big rumor. Yep, calling you out, Gretchen.
Yeah.
Sending out those spoilers. Well, that's a big rumor. There was
But
an
it might
article.
not have been.
There was an article where Clara indicated that she might be leaving. And the thing is, it wasn't from the most reliable source.
Mm.
So that's really where the question is. There's been nothing else said about it, but people are like, is she leaving at the Christmas episode? And then after this episode where she was very mad at him, they were kind of leading you down that path. But you know what? I disagree. I thought the way this ended, I think Danny convinced her.
He talked her down. For
Yeah,
sure.
but I think he convinced her in a way that it wasn't like, I'm going to talk you down and this is going to be simmering. It was
Right.
more like, you need to realize what this is and how
Exactly.
special this is. And yeah, you might be mad at him right now. Get over it.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think she will, at least for
I
the
hope
time
so.
being.
I hope for at least a few more episodes.
A few.
well, I
want
think
her
they're
to be
set
on
up-
for a while.
Well, no, but I just mean it. I would hope that this wouldn't just be it.
Right,
they
right. That
wouldn't-
she wouldn't like kind of fade into the background.
Yeah, I hope that that they have a few more adventures.
Well, I like the idea that they can have Courtney travel with him,
Courtney's funny.
that Danny can travel with him, that a
I like
combination
Danny.
of these three can travel with him.
Yeah,
And then it looks like in the next episode
He's
that there is
alone.
no companion.
yeah.
Now they've done this before. I know.
have?
With David Tennant, he had times where he didn't have somebody, or he had like somebody that seemed like they were going to companion, and they might have been on for like 2 episodes, and then that was it. That was their whole story. I think that they've done this. It's just we're so used to like Amy was there, and then when Amy wasn't there, Clara was there.
Right.
So I think that people are just kind of used to that. But really, if you go back through the history of Who, I think that
The
this...
Whostory?
The Whostory.
Yes. That's
Yes.
good.
I think this is a little bit more common.
I want to talk about something. I want to make
Okay.
a comment here. During the episode when after the moon disintegrated, like the eggshell disintegrated
Right.
and the creature flew away, and when they were out on the beach, and the doctor said to Clara, and to the astronaut lady, the
Right.
captain of the spaceship. He said the whole course of history was changed from that moment. A school teacher made the right decision.
Yes.
And to me, that so
He
much
should
of
have gotten forgiven from that.
so much of this episode is about, for me, it's about going with your gut. It's about making the choices that you
Yes.
know to be the right choice.
Yes.
Clara knew from the beginning. She was like, I am not killing this. I am not
Right.
doing this. And the astronaut she almost convinced her.
Well, Claire, at
And
the
then
last
Earth
second,
and all of
stopped
Earth, because because they asked the people of Earth, turn your lights out if we should kill it. Well, you know how
The
that
entire
works.
Earth went
No,
dark.
but because you know why. What's happening with Ebola right now?
Right.
It's like panic. It's people. It's spreading and people
Right, so
panicking
people are
and
hearing,
going, "Oh,
there-
just kill anyone who has it."
The
Just
moon's an
quarantine it."
egg. What should we do? Everyone's like,
They're
kill
just
it.
gonna go, just kill it. If something's about to hatch, get rid of it.
It's the reason we run around the house and kill spiders. Spiders don't.
Spiders
do
are
anything to you.
beneficial.
But everybody's all
we
freaked
don't
out
want
about
them in
spiders.
our
They're like,
house.
kill the spiders.
We
So
like daddy long legs.
Yes.
We like you.
Daddy long legs.
So I did really like that in the storyline, and where no matter where people stand, whether they want to look at it as pro-life or anti, whatever you want to do. For me, it was I took that out of it and just went.
Well, I don't think that was necessarily. I think that was part of the idea, but I don't think that was the central idea. And I think people.
I don't
stuck
think
on
anyone
that.
was forcing an agenda.
No, that's it exactly. They weren't forcing an agenda.
But what I love about it is the importance of people listening to what their internal guide and
Right.
saying, do you think this is right or wrong? He pulled himself out. He sort of was God in a sense. Like, I always tell you what to do. I always tell you that this is right, this is wrong, this is how we're playing it. In this situation, I have to walk away so that you listen to yourself and you trust yourself, and you have to live with whatever decision you make, but you're the only one who can make it.
Now, here's a question I have. When he was talking about how there are these moments in time and they're fuzzy to him, and these are crucial moments. Like, this could have gone either way. I'm not completely convinced that was the case. I'm actually kind of thinking that he did know. Like when they said, well, why is there a moon? And he's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he knew. I think he fully knew what was going to happen, but I also think he knew that I can't be involved in this. Because if I tell them, like think about it. If he told them, we need to let this thing live, it would add another layer of animosity.
Yep.
By making them make the decision, yeah, she may be mad right now, but that's temporary.
Well, and the astronaut,
because when she steps back from it, she's going to realize.
The astronaut did.
Right,
on the beach,
right.
She said, "Thank you for stopping me.
Yes.
Thank you for giving me the moon back."
Yes.
Because when we,
because if they had killed the moon,
what then?
What then? Would it have just broken apart from the thing
and
inside
she would have had to live with her decision for the rest of her life.
Right.
And so she was thanking him for protecting her from having to live with that guilt or carry that burden of having made that decision.
Where else can she fly?
Other than the moon. That's a good one, Bob.
Well, and see, but that's just it. Because of this action, he said this is what causes mankind to reach further out.
Yes.
So where does she go after that? Like at this point, where would she go as an astronaut but the moon? That was all they had. But because of this action, now they realized she as an astronaut can go to the far reaches of space.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, once again, we talked about Star Trek for a second. In the movie First Contact, it shows they go back in time, and everything is Star Trek, by the way, Molly.
Yeah, and Batman.
Yes.
And The Hobbit.
Yes.
And what else?
It's all there.
I want to talk about this scene.
But when they go, they go
finish.
back in time to see the moment, and they have to help them. It's very similar to this, where they have to help humanity figure out how to get off planet. And once they do this, that's when the Vulcans realize they can go to the stars, and they come here and they shepherd humankind into the stars. And they're like, after a war, there's like not much left, and it's like crazy. And that could have been it for humanity.
Right.
And it's very similar to this. It's like, you need to do this to spark that.
To
and that's why I
understand
think
how
the
far you
doctor
can go.
knew, because I think he knew you have to make this decision because this is the pivotal moment that launches you into the universe.
And Clara, after she sends Courtney away to go to class, geography of all things, and but she asks the doctor what he knew.
Yes.
And
he says he didn't know.
She says, "Tell me what you know, doctor, or I'll smack you so hard you'll regenerate."
Yeah, right.
Hilarious.
Good line.
That sounds like something that Amy or River would say.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
angry. And, and she's just not having any of it. And she's not listening to him. She's not appreciating his responses. And she says it was cheap, pathetic, and patronizing. And the doctor says, that was me respecting you.
Right. But you know what? It was.
And
it was.
And, she nearly didn't push the button. And,
But I think he knew that she would. Because let's face it, even though he's saying he didn't know or whatever, let's face it, he knows that there's an incident that drives humanity into space.
Yeah.
He knows, he may not know exactly how it plays out, but he knew, I cannot
interfere with
be involved in this. And Claire's the impossible girl. She has to be involved in this.
Well, and when he was saying, it's not my moon, I don't live here, I don't do this.
Right.
And she got so mad, and she was like, that is your moon too.
Yes.
She's like,
now,
you
she
live
was
here.
right, too.
You come here. You help us all the time. You're part of Earth's story.
You're part of the story. You are here.
And
it
she
is
says,
your moon.
so that's when she kicks him out. She's like, go off in your bloody TARDIS and don't come back.
Right.
And
Actually, she said the word bloody.
well, bloody in English means
I know.
it's more like a swear word.
Right.
Darn.
Right. Darn.
Your darn TARDIS.
You and your
and
darn
don't
TARDIS.
come back. Now, do you think she means that? Do you really think she doesn't ever want to see him again?
It's Clara.
She's just so mad and hurt, and she feels like
and she's freaked out.
put
I mean,
her
she
out
almost
there.
did something that would have had detrimental effects because he didn't guide her.
He keeps giving her these things for her to be mad about. One, the episode before this, she got mad.
Right.
This episode, she got mad.
Yeah.
The next,
But
he's
you know
without her.
You know what? We talked about it before, how he is acting as a father.
Yes.
This is Clara
You have
to
to
him
make
is a
your own
teenager now.
mistake. Yeah.
She is at the point where he's saying, I have to let you fly.
Yep.
You have to be this. Which dads have that hard moment.
Yeah.
Where they either enable forever or they step back and say, I'm going to throw you in the water and you're going to swim. And it's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And the
scary
kid doesn't
'cause
understand
I don't
it
know
until
how to
later.
swim.
Okay, we have to talk about something.
Okay.
What the heck was up with his polka dotted shirt?
Oh my God.
Why does he wear that?
Why
It's so ugly.
is he wearing that ugly
It's
polka
so
dotted shirt?
That is
ugly.
the ugliest. Before he had this cool outfit on.
Right?
Well,
it's
he
like
wears
his
that
casual
goofy
wear.
star one too.
That's like his casual wear. I don't know what he's wearing.
I
He has
don't
that
know what.
awesome jacket and stuff he wears.
And then he's
but
got these goofy shirts.
Yeah.
But this shirt was just beyond. But I thought that was so funny.
Okay, as long as we're talking about funny moments, there was a great moment in this.
Okay.
That had a really funny line, but the whole scene was really great. When they first got on the moon base,
Yeah.
and they were going to shoot him, and he goes, "Shoot the girl first."
Oh.
Oh my gosh, that
yeah.
was killing me.
But he says better than that. He says, shoot the little girl first, then her, and he points at Claire, and he goes, then me.
Right. Well, he goes,
He just
and then
throws
when
them both under the bus.
He goes, "You're going to be shooting me a lot because I keep regenerating, and
Right.
the more you shoot, the more I regenerate." Now, this was an
And
interesting...
he did give us a spoiler. He said, I can come back as many times as I want.
I was going to say, okay, so
Spoiler.
Matt Smith with that whole thing, when he was dying off,
and they were only
everyone
allowed to be
kept talking
12.
about there were 12 and this is it.
Yeah.
And then we were saying, well, wait a minute, technically there's 13 because
yeah,
of the
but
David
also
Tennant,
they gave him the lives.
But they gave him the lives, but
Yeah.
we still didn't know. Does that mean it resets at 12? What does that
Nope.
mean?
Now we know.
He is saying
I can come back indefinitely.
this is
Oh,
infinite.
no, too many
Molly,
doctors.
your grandchildren will be watching Doctor Who, is
Yes.
what he's saying, right?
Can you
Oh my
imagine how awesome is that?
Okay, so I want to
But
talk
it was
about,
funny. And then I want one more thing in that scene. I just got one more thing in
I
that
was
scene.
in the scene before it.
Well,
Okay.
when
The shirt.
he was also very funny. Peter Capaldi was killing me in this
Yeah,
scene.
he was. He always does.
When he's like hopping around the
oh
room.
my gosh, testing the
And then
gravity.
they're like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm testing the gravity.
He's just
That
jump,
was so
jump,
funny.
he's like, jump.
Why is there gravity? And he's bouncing, or he's like dancing around. Oh, that was so
Oh, that
funny.
was
But like he had like a method to it and everything. It was killing me. Okay, now I'm
So-
done. That whole scene was killing
okay,
me.
so we see his awful shirt,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then Clara says, why did you say that? Why did you say that Courtney Woods wasn't special? And he goes, what is Courtney Woods?
Yeah.
And she says, the one who barfed. He's like, oh.
Oh, right. And then
But-
Courtney shows up and she's got the Windex.
Yeah, but he's like, you're not special. And she's,
I felt so bad.
I know. And Clara's like, will you stop it and just tell her that she's special? And he wouldn't do
I loved
it.
it when he took her to the moon, and she's like, "You could have just told her she was special."
Right.
But she had Windex to protect,
Right.
to like clean up in case she barfs, and she had special motion sickness bracelets on,
Right.
so that she wouldn't get sick because she wanted to be with him.
Right.
But he wouldn't tell her he was special. So then he says, how would you like to be the first woman on the moon? Is that special enough for you?
Right.
And I'm like, heck yeah, it is.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
That worked on Courtney, didn't it?
And then he took her there, and Claire said, once again, that I already said this, so that's why I'm saying once again.
Uh-huh.
She said, you could have just told her she
Yeah.
was special.
So funny. But this
Well,
was the
now wait.
doctor's way, though.
This was a very quick line.
Hmm.
But did you catch how special Courtney is?
What did he say?
This was at the end. Did you hear when he
No.
was saying how humanity goes into space? He said what happens to Courtney.
Yeah.
Did you hear it?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Courtney becomes president of the United States.
Isn't that amazing? Our cat was even excited.
Yeah.
About it.
So that was
yeah.
when he was talking about things that happened, and he's like, he just dropped that line. And Courtney will become president because of this.
Pretty amazing.
That is, but he didn't tell Courtney that.
Right.
He
Oh,
just
no,
kinda
because you
said-
know what? That'll screw her
Right.
up.
He didn't do that. He just kind of, but he said it when he was talking to Clara.
Yeah.
He just threw it out there, and it was like, wow.
Yeah.
Once again, he knew because he has to know that she becomes president. Otherwise, if he didn't know, then he just altered the entire timeline because there's no way Courtney would have been president
Well,
without
she
this
was-
I
happening.
wonder.
She was president in 2049 when the moon blew up.
Right.
So
he knew.
he knew that she is special, but if sometimes if you let people know that, they don't live up.
Right.
They panic and then they don't live up to it.
Right.
If he continues to let her think, yeah, you're not so much, she's going to work really, really hard to prove everybody wrong.
Right.
Is what I think
Exactly.
he's thinking.
Right. I think it is too.
You know
Once
what I
again,
wonder?
What
that's
do
a
you
dad
wonder?
thing.
Where does he hang out when he's not on an adventure with Clara? Where does
In the
he
TARDIS.
Go? No, where does he go?
Well, he's got all those books.
He's gotta fly.
He could go anywhere.
Where does he go?
Well, you haven't seen some of the episodes. Like there's that one where he goes to the library and it's this planet that's a giant library. He said he loves to hang out there.
Wouldn't that be
here it
heaven?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a planet that's just a library.
Yes. And I mean, I'm sure he goes anywhere. Well, that's what he does. Like he'll say, let's go see the end of the world. And they're like, what? And then he'll take them to the end of the world.
Yeah,
Let's-
they don't know what's going on.
Yeah. So I think that's what he does
What
when he's.
happened to him saying, where do you want to go?
Right. Well, when he's not having an adventure, I think he just travels. And I think since he can travel, he can go anywhere in time. He just goes back and sees amazing things. That's what I would do.
Oh, do you think he just floats there on the TARDIS? Just floats or
Just floats.
Oh,
sits there
wait, I have
floats.
a- I have
Could
a-
be.
bobbing up and down?
I have a
Good
scene
mess.
I want to talk about. Courtney at one point wanted to go home. and Clara was trying to help her, and the doctor
I
said
felt
no.
bad for her.
The doctor
Yeah.
said, no, she's fine. And he goes, what, are you 35?
Oh.
And she says, 15. And Claire's like, yeah, she's 15. I thought that was so funny. He's like, what, are you 35? He always has everything wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
She looks like
she's a kid.
13.
Yeah.
She looks 12.
And he's like,
I can't believe,
what are you, 35?
the next year she'll be ready to drive. She looks 12.
Now, I want to talk. I've got only a little bit more that I want to discuss here.
Okay.
I mean, we could keep talking, but to me, there's only one other thing. When I'm talking about the classic sci-fi and all that, there were a couple of real obvious illusions that were happening here.
Mm-hmm.
One was, I totally got, in the beginning especially, the movie Alien or Prometheus, which is tied in. The way the space helmets that the modern astronauts had, where they had the lights inside, I was like, that is awesome. It looks just like Alien. The spiders reminded me of the xenomorphs, and I was like, that is so cool. But I love how they twisted it, because in Alien, the xenomorphs are the bad guys. Here, that same thing turned out to just be, they're just germs. So Alien, and then the other one that was a little less obvious that you see played out a lot, but it's usually very obvious, was The Thing. Mm-hmm. Molly, there's a movie called The Thing, okay?
Yes.
And
I know
in this,
who that is as a superhero.
I know, it's not that superhero.
Okay.
So basically what happens is these explorers are exploring, I think it's the Antarctic, and they find a crashed something. It's a crashed UFO in the ice that's
Sounds
been
like
there
X-Files.
for a billion years or something.
Mm-hmm.
And when they open it up, when they go inside, they think it's all dead, but there's this
Thing.
thing.
That's the name.
Which is really, when you boil it down, very much like this. It's like a parasite that goes from person to person.
Well, if you boil it down, it's no longer icy.
If you boil it down, it makes good eating. Get some barbecue sauce on there. It's kind of like that slug we found in our house.
Oh, and our cauliflower.
Don't worry, we didn't eat that. Don't worry.
No, it was from our garden.
Well,
we
don't
didn't
worry.
get it from
Molly
the
doesn't
store.
know she ate it. Wow.
It's good protein.
Yeah.
I just dipped it in chocolate for you.
Yeah.
Wait,
It would be good with garlic and butter.
You put it in with our chocolate cookies.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Slug
there you go,
cookies.
slug.
So,
Oh,
yeah, I
I
just
ate
wanted
a
to bring
bunch
that
of
up
those
because,
today.
once again, as you're, like for Molly, who's just kind of learning this stuff and getting exposed to it here, when she sees these classic sci-fi stories, when she sees that Star Trek First Contact, when she sees
what are you talking about?
The Thing, this will really be like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Whereas to us, we're seeing it, we're going, oh, that's Alien.
Right.
I thought this was played really well, and it played with some of those basic things that I think it overplayed, and this wasn't so obvious.
No.
I thought this was awesome.
And
So there you go. That was my other big point. I had a lot of notes in here about Alien and Prometheus and The Thing.
That's basically your notes.
Yes,
You didn't
because
take any notes on
everything
Doctor Who.
is Alien
Prometheus,
Batman.
Batman,
Right.
Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
So Courtney's putting pictures on Tumblr.
Right.
Yeah.
So funny.
This is what I do all day.
The astronaut said, "Oh, my granny used to put things on
My
Tumblr."
granny.
So in 2049,
Tumblr's like way
we're all going to
old.
be, elderly
back in
and
the
going,
old days?
remember when we had the Tumblr?
And most people don't even know what Tumblr is right now, so
Yeah.
that's really funny.
So I thought that
Hey,
was great.
let me give a plug. If you don't know what Tumblr is, go to Tumblr, TUMBLR, and look up Southgate Media Group, because we have a Tumblr page,
There you
and we update it and have a lot of fun with it. It's awesome. I love it more than Facebook.
So
What?
Sorry, Facebook.
Oh, I hate Facebook.
Oh, I don't know what Facebook is.
Okay, so go ahead, Mal. So we're talking about Tumblr.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Not you. You stop.
I'm done.
Talking
You
about
stop.
business. Okay. So the doctor then later on is
Yeah.
looking through is
He's turned on a TV screen.
Right.
the computer monitor.
Yeah.
Probably.
And then Then he sees
Right,
Courtney,
Courtney's talking
and
to
he
it.
yells at her, "You can't put me on Tumblr!"
Yeah,
Right.
he says you can't put pictures of me online, and of course that would be perfectly logical. Like none of us would ever imagine we would out the doctor by
Right.
putting him on social media.
And to Courtney,
but to
that's
a
just how she
teenager,
thinks.
she's like, "What? It's part of my life. This is what I'm doing today.
Yep.
I'm not eating, so I might as well put pictures of you on because
Yep.
I don't have pictures of food."
Oh, imagine she probably walked around the TARDIS and took pictures. Now, she just sat there when she was in the TARDIS.
Oh,
If I had free time in the TARDIS, I would explore.
well, she was touching stuff and she wasn't supposed to. But
Yeah, I thought she was gonna go to some crazy
So did
thing.
I.
She just pressed down the one thing. She
Yep.
looked
Okay.
at stuff.
and she had one of the best lines because well, first of all, we didn't talk about this. So when he tells them the moon is hatching and he says the moon's an egg, the face the
Oh my
doctor
gosh,
made.
the face on him was hilarious.
I had to keep rewinding it. It was so hysterical. The look on his face, like, yeah, you're not going to believe this. You know, like, yeah, I have to say this out loud.
It was a creepy smile.
And then Courtney has quite a line. She says, "Is there a chicken?"
That was great. And he's like, no, we're not getting into that.
No, he says, "Courtney, don't spoil the moment."
She's just making a joke.
Oh,
And,
it was so funny.
But he said, "I think there's only one in the universe, and I think it's beautiful."
Yeah.
And
They almost killed her.
Now,
yeah,
that's another thing. This is the kind of thing that's great with Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, there may be only one in the universe, but we may see something happen with this again when Molly
Because
has
they let it
grandkids.
live.
But
Yeah.
it could be 50 years from now they do another episode,
well, we won't.
and there's
know.
a whole we'll know because I'm traveling with the Doctor.
Okay.
I'm going to
Yeah.
go 100 years in the future and look back and say, "Oh, that's what happened." Actually, I'd go 100 years in the future and then I have to sit and watch 100 years worth of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I don't have a lifetime enough for that. What do you think?
Dead silence.
Dead silence.
What
So,
about?
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
Are
go
you in the
ahead.
middle of a thought? What about when he reminded Clara that he didn't kill Hitler?
Yes. Well, okay. When you said that, I did have something else I was going to say. Because next week's episode has an awesome name. And when I think of the last couple seasons, there have been shows with awesome names.
Okay.
Next week is Mummy on the Orient Express.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in. All I had to hear was that. I'm in. There was dinosaurs on a spaceship. Awesome name. And the third one that I thought of immediately was Let's Kill Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
So when he said Let's Kill Hitler, I was like, ah,
Yeah.
yes, let's kill Hitler.
And he said, "You would never expect me to kill Hitler."
Right.
Yep.
And,
And-
Kill the
and
Moon is
so
a heck of a name, too.
He's saying, you
How
know,
many kill names?
right.
Yeah. Lots.
But he says to her, "It's time to take the training wheels off."
yes.
Like she's been training with him all
Yes.
these years, and he says, "Now this is up to you.
And-
You have to make this decision." He says, a teenager, an astronaut, and a teacher have to make this decision.
I have some thoughts about Clara. I think we've seen what's happened with other companions.
Mhm.
Yes.
And their stories all end kind of differently. The way that we saw this play out, it kind of indicated that she's going to get mad and leave. I don't think that at all. When I say he's been her dad, and you think about who she is as a character, the impossible girl, I think he's training her.
Mhm.
I think she is going to have a TARDIS.
Hmm.
What?
I think she may not, she's not a Time Lord because she's not Gallifrey. She's not going to have two hearts. But I think this character, is going to travel.
Mhm.
And he's gonna steal her another heart. Is that what you're saying?
I think so.
Hmm.
Oh,
I
it gets stuck
think
in
so.
It's gonna get stuck in the big heart form.
Because when he says, I'm going to take off the training wheels, he makes her make these hard decisions. He hasn't done these things necessarily to other companions. They've traveled with him. But she's different. She's
Guess
been
what
different
the
the whole
series will be
time.
called? The Girly Doctor Who. It's gonna be stuck
Girly
in a
Doctor Who.
heart. The TARDIS gonna be
It'll be a
stuck in
pink
heart.
TARDIS.
It'll be a pink heart.
Oh,
Yeah.
so sexist.
So, well, no, it's how Molly would.
Right, if it was
Oh.
Molly. It'd be shaped
Okay.
like a pink pony.
How
Oh,
about-
Pinkie Pie!
Yes.
I want this quick little scene. Speaking of pink, the astronaut asks Clara, "You want babies?" And Clara says yes. And Courtney's singing in the background,
Pink.
"Mr. P."
Oh, Mr. Pink!
Mr. Pink!
Yeah.
Loved.
So my
loved
theory
that.
might be wrong. She might be with Pinky.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I still say that,
or she may just want to at this moment.
right. But I still say that great-grandson said, one of my grandparents. There's
Right.
stories about one of my grandparents.
I
Obviously, Danny is one
Wait,
of them.
You said, I think that they are together, but maybe something happened with Clara.
Right. So
maybe
she didn't
after
get that.
they were married,
Mhm.
Right.
something happened.
Could be.
So that's why one of...
Right. We
Mhm.
just don't know. We
Or
just
Or
don't
from
know.
my theory, maybe it's the doctor.
Who?
That his grandson might be the doctor. it might be the doctor.
No, the doctor can't be his granddad because that guy obviously looked like Danny. So Danny has to be the grandfather.
He regenerates into Danny Pink.
That would be bizarre.
You know what? You're not right in that episode.
Where is Danny?
Yeah, you kind of crashed on
Yeah,
that.
you just crashed your TARDIS into the moon.
Let's talk about this for a second, and then I think I think this is the last point I want
All right,
to
what's
make.
your point?
When they were asking Earthlings to turn off their lights.
Yes.
If you think we should kill the creature, leave them on if you think we should let it live. They were just broadcasting to Earth.
Okay.
On to ground control.
Yes.
How did they do that?
So Molly was saying while we were watching it, she said, how would everyone on Earth hear them?
Right.
Not everybody would have their TV on. Not everybody would
Right.
have a radio or a... Do they have radios still? Yeah.
I think
Not
so.
everybody would have...
Right.
You know, in 2049, how was everybody hearing that broadcast in order for it to go around the world?
It's 2049.
Yeah.
So, first of all, we probably just have to accept that everybody heard it. But it's 2049.
Maybe they installed something so that brains can
Just automatically?
hear it automatically.
Yeah. Now, what about, I mean, we've got Wi-Fi. By that point, maybe there's universal Wi-Fi that automatically sent, like there's an emergency broadcast system that goes to everybody. You know, that could be.
That just goes into their brain, so they, boom.
Right. They're
Like-
jacked in like the Matrix. Everything's the Matrix, Mo.
No.
No, I'm talking about an episode on Simpsons when they're in the future and they get their,
What?
and they have brains.
Our
Simpsons
kid just quoted
reference.
The Simpsons.
How many episodes of The Simpsons have you seen? Like 2?
Yeah.
And one of them happened to be this.
That's awesome. All right. I think that's it. Do you guys have anything more?
I think we're good.
I'm excited for Mummy on the Orient Express.
I did really love this episode.
He's probably going to be with K9.
Oh, K9 is his partner on this? Please let
that would be
K9 come back.
fantastic.
All right.
Doctor.
That's it. Thank you for listening, everybody. You can find past episodes of this and all of our other podcasts at our website, which is
www.southgatemediagroup.com.
great. Find us on iTunes and
Thank you.
Stitcher and TuneIn Radio and Podomatic. We're all over the directories out there. Please rate us and review us. It helps other people find the show. And it also tells us whether we're doing a good job or not. So please do that. It really, truly helps us out. That's it. Until next week, Alonzi! If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.